Hey guys, how's it going? Typhon here, and I'm your coach of the Idaho Dodrios for Season 3 of the PPC. If you guys are excited for Week 4, make sure to hit that like button in support of the Dodrios. By the way, I'm sorry if you guys can hear my fan in the background. It is stupid fucking hot here. It's like mid-90s, and then we have a forest. There's like a forest fire going on like 20 miles away, so it's only even fucking hotter here. But this should only be like this week's thing, you know. After this, there probably won't be a fan blowing in my room at this time. But anyways, this week for the PPC, we have Blake, aka Shadowfire XD, and the Long Island Typhlosions. I will leave Blake's information in the description below if you guys would like to check out the battle from his point of view or just any of his content in general. Now, let's get started with this team prep video here. First off, the 11 Pokemon that Blakeypie, that's what this document says right here, exactly, Blakey fucking pie. Anyways, Blake's 11 Pokemon, his Mega is Tyranitar, Mega Tyranitar, so automatically you're just going to think Sand Team, and you know what, you guys are right, because he has Excadrill, Latios, the red one, Latias, Gliscor, Magnezone, Ditto, Primarina, Typhlosion, that mascot Luck, Sableye, Cradily, and Piloswine. And his Zmon just so happens to be that mascot, Typhlosion. So, the 6 Pokemon that I chose to counter what looks like to be a Sand Team is these 6 here, leading off with Hitmonlee. It's a pretty similar set to last week, just because, really, I didn't know what else to do for Hitmonlee for this situation. But we are sticking with Lychee Berry this week. We are not switching to the Lum. He doesn't really, like, maybe outside of the Scald Burning Primarina, that's really it. He doesn't have a whole lot of status inflictors, in my opinion. Maybe the Sableye, but I am definitely anticipating that. Anyways, we have Lychee Berry, Unburdened, 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly Natured, Hitmonlee with Close Combat, Poison Jab, Knockoff, Rapid Spin, Close Combat just for Stab, General Stab, affects a decent chunk of his team, a decent chunk of his hard hitters. Poison Jab for the Primarina, just in case we can get that switch predicted. Knockoff, obviously 2 knockoff items. Maybe get the Toxic Orb off the Gliscor before it goes off. Get rid of what I imagine will be a Choice Scarf Ditto, or just predict the Latias switch in. And then, of course, Rapid Spin, because he has a ton of hazard set up on his team. I'm sure he's going to bring it for my Charizard, and as you guys can see, we are not bringing Charizard X just because I don't see the point in bringing it when all he has is, well, I feel like just a Sand Team in general. Just like that'd be a horrible idea to bring my Charizard to this. Anyways, next up is Vaporeon. I realized I don't have any nicknames on here, so we got Basil, and Camouflage. That's not how you spell camouflage. Camouflage. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell camouflage. If not, I'll just edit it later. But next up is Camouflage, our Vaporeon. Leftovers, Water, Absorb, Scald, Heal Bell, Wish, Protect. Pretty similar set to last week's. Again, for some reason, just converting a lot of the Pokemon I had last week to this week worked out really well. I just flipped the defenses for Vaporeon. It's pretty much, I think I pretty much set it up to get 3 hit by anything, almost anything on the team. And pretty standard set, Scald, Heal Bell, Wish, Protect. I so desperately wanted to throw like Toxic or something on there, but alas, I couldn't. Next up is Raikou, Leftovers, with Calm Mind, Hidden Power, Ice, Thunderbolt, and Substitute. Again, we're running Calm Mind sub this week, just because it worked out so well last week against Silver, in my opinion, except I could have fucking killed the Combuskin a lot faster, but whatever. That was last week. This is this week. 116 in HP, 252 in special attack, 4 in special defense, and 136 timid. I sped crept out speed anything that wasn't affected by Sand Rush or by Scarfed, so we're pretty safe there. That left us with a decent chunk for for HP. I stared at that and realized I had an even number, which is not what you want for rocks, but I'm not too worried about it, just because it does neutral damage. Hidden Power Ice for the Gliscor, which is a ballsy move on my part. I know. Thunderbolt, obviously, for Stab, and Calm Mind sub is pretty self-explanatory. Next up, is this shiny? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure we had our Super Saiyan Raikou. Next up is Landorus Therian, our Choice Scarf, Intimidate, Earthquake, U-Turn, Superpower, Knockoff user, and we got 184 in HP, 252 in attack, 8 in defense, and 64 Jolly for speed. Again, meant to just outspeed a whole decent fucking chunk of his team. I do believe it outspeeds actually everything on his team, bearing like some kind of weird, funky Choice Scarf Latias or something. Earthquake is for stab, and it obviously OHKO's the Magnezone. It drills his Typhlosion, it drills the Tyranitar and the Excadrill pretty well. We got U-turn just to get out really quickly. Meant for the Latias. I keep calling it Latios. Meant to hit the Latias. It's a 2-hit KO on Latias, and we outspeed as long as it's not scarfed. Superpower to hit even harder for the Tyranitar. I feel like that's one of his biggest threats is T-Tar, because as soon as that goes down, the Sand Team just crumbles apart. And then Knockoff, because general Knockoff users. We have 2 this week, thankfully. And the next up is Rotom Mo. Leftovers, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp. I combined Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp there for a quick second, but I caught myself. Volt Switch and Leaf Storm. 252 HP, 160 Bold in defense, and 96 special defense. This thing literally eats everything on his team, barring Stab Super Effective, which is obviously a no-go. But it's just disgusting how fucking bulky this Rotom is, which is the main reason why I brought it over Celebi. I think, for the most part, again, same as the Vaporeon, just 3-hit KOs from everything, and it's meant to just burn his big threats, his big physical threats, excuse me, like the Excadrill, like the Tyranitar, and then obviously Pain Split for HP recovery, Volt Switch to get the fuck out of there, and Leaf Storm for obvious stab. And then next up is one of the more interesting sets I've ever made for this Gardevoir. I'll admit I've never ran Screens Gardevoir, but hey, we gotta try it out sometime. I didn't know what else to do with it. So we have Light Clay Gardevoir with Trace and Light Screen, Moonblast, Hidden Power Ground, and Reflect. 252 in special attack, 16 in special defense, 240 timid. Now it's meant to be a little bit offensive here because I want to hit, obviously Hidden Power Ground is for the Magnezone, which